Welcome back to the Bring Back Claude Appreciation Society. We're here for extra time, as usual. Anthony, what are we doing today?
Transfers. 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 Not clawed back to AFTV, unfortunately, which is a transfer we'd all like to see. We're talking about one player every team in the Premier League should try and bring in.
Not necessarily saying they will, but in an ideal world, this is where they should be strengthening.
So we can say anybody we want.
Really, keep it realistic.
But realistically, kind of ideal. Yeah. So, if a team needs a centre back, what kind of centre back will they need, or an attacker?
And who could they realistically bring in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start off with Arsenal.
I was going to say, will we do it alphabetical order?
I've sorted it alphabetically in my little document.
Excellent. So we will go via Stephen's document.
Oh, cheeky. So first, Arsenal. And I think it's pretty obvious. I think we've touched on it in the actual podcast earlier. They need an attacking midfielder, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We all agree on that one.
They just seem to lack a lot of creativity. I mean, they've been playing Lacazette as an attacking midfielder in recent weeks, which goes to show just how lacking they are. The only really other creative midfielder they have is Ceballos, but he's more of a deep-lying sort of playmaker, not an attacking midfielder. So, obviously, they got Ozil, but for monetary reasons, they cannot play him. So, in my opinion, two semi-realistic targets. One, Isco. Obviously, he's out of favour right now at Real Madrid. His contract is expiring in the summer. Maybe they should either look to buy him now on the cheap or wait and get him in on a free next season. And then the other option I've put in there just as a wild card is Marcel Sabitzer from Leipzig. I think he could be great.
He crossed my mind as well. So Sabitzer looks good. My only thing would be he's not going to go to Arsenal when he's a top player at a team that are going into European knockouts. I also did agree with you with Arsenal in the area they need to improve on, which is their centre attack midfield. Before I did have someone down, but then obviously I remember I did have Coutinho down. He's injured right now, so unlikely in January, but he's someone that you could see maybe making a return to the Premier League, despite Ebro's playing a few times for Barca. I still don't think. I think his time for us is done. I had Hossein Aouar. I can't say his name.
Aouar?
The Lyon.
I think I didn't put him down because I think
pronounced.
Aouar, yeah, I think he'll be more of a summer transfer window because usually in the January transfer window, teams don't make like gigantic transfers. Maybe. I think he'll be more of a summer transfer window.
Yeah, I see your point, but I see your point realistically. Realistically, I think that he's the one that would be joining. So I wouldn't be surprised if you did see them try and make a move for him in January instead.
Because I just saw today Arsenal were taking out like a really big loan. I think they took out 100 million pound loan today.
120 million. I think it was 120 million.
About that, yeah. So I don't know where they're going to get the money to buy. I think he's going to be at least 50 million pounds.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think that'd be. I mean,
yeah, that's why I said Isco. Even if you don't sign him now, you can get him on a free in the summer. If you want to get him on the cheap now,
wages. The big issue is his wages. I don't know
he
how
will
much
want a lot of money.
On.
Yeah, he will want a lot of money. But if you get him in on a free, it kind of makes up for that.
Maybe, but it depends what Arsenal's placing is on high wages. There's a few instances of that, and players I've thought of for other teams that I'll get to when we get to those teams of a similar ilk. Matt, you got anyone for Arsenal?
My player is a man who's been scoring goals. He's a central attacking midfielder as well. His name is Amari Patrick. He's League Two's Carlisle. Currently, I think he'd be a good fit. No, I'm taking the piss. I have gone. The thing is with Arsenal, yeah, they ain't got much money by the looks of it. So they need to get someone who would be good, but not someone who would be too big of a name in case they flop. So I've gone for the middleman. As much as I agree with Sabitzer, that'd be a good signing. I'm going for Dani Olmo.
Good shout.
Yeah, Dani Olmo from Leipzig, because I just think it's a bit less profile, but he's still got a lot of potential.
I actually think he'll be more expensive because he's younger.
He might be, but also remember Leipzig have just brought in
Dalmo,
Szoboszlai.
as I like to call him.
Szoboszlai from Salzburg. Because remember Arsenal lost out in that one.
And
So-
Leipzig also have Emil Forsberg on their books.
Forsberg, and honestly, out of the four, that'd be probably the best, cheaper option. The other three are
and
more
Kunku?
expensive than him.
He's another one they got. They got loads of attacking midfielders on their books. They probably have to get rid of one of them.
So Dalmo could be on the move, and I think he'd be a type of player Arsenal should probably go for.
I think if anyone out of that team, it would either be Zabitzer or Forsberg leaving. I think
Forsberg's getting on, I think, isn't he?
he's
He's
not
still
been. I think he's 29
still, isn't he? Yeah, he's still late 20s. Obviously, Arsenal's issue is signing players that are 31, 32, but if they brought in someone who's 29 who's not a starter for Leipzig anymore, but still a good player,
I mean,
at
I
this
could
point,
see a
it's
loan
better
there.
than what they've got. It's better than what they've got right now. So
I think they could get him on loan, possibly with an option to buy.
Yeah,
But we're waiting
shall
to
we
see.
move on?
Let's move on.
Villa.
Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think for me, it's got to be a centre back. I think their attack is sorted. They've got a more than a serviceable attack. The midfield as well, it's pretty decent. Maybe, I mean, they don't need to urgently improve, and maybe in the summer they can get someone in. But if we're talking about right here, right now, they need a centre back. And in my opinion, I've gone one which is more obvious and one which is a bit more of a niche shout. The obvious one is James Tarkowski. I think he brings a lot of Premier League experience, and he's English, which helps with registration. And a bit of a wildcard shout I've gone for is Musa Niakate from Mainz. Mainz are struggling right now. That he might want to leave either now or in the summer. And I think he's a very underrated centre back, and I think he could do well at Aston Villa. I was just wondering what you guys think.
I don't know much about him, but
he's like another one. It's like,
you
know how France have a load of ridiculous, like promising centre backs. He's like one of those who would just
I think you're right about filling in the centre back. I do also think though they could improve their attack. It's not that they've not been getting goals, but if Watkins goes down, they've not got anyone who can.
They've still got Wesley on their books.
Yeah, but where's the reason they brought in Watkins? Grealish is playing on the left wing when really So what I'm saying is their attack's doing well, but realistically, I think it's more they've not got depth in their attack.
Sorry, my chair.
It's
sort of, yeah.
But you get the point I'm making. Like it's the same reason for putting Jota. It's not that like they didn't have a good front three at the time. Yeah. They needed reinforcement, and I think Villa primarily need a centre back. But if they couldn't get one they wanted, they'd be looking to maybe bring in someone who can help out just in case there's injury or fatigue or suspension.
Obviously, right now they're starting.
I also know the kind of the team that Dean Smith likes to go to the most. I think Villa could go for a move for Ivan Toney at some point. Genuinely,
they don't need Ivan Toney. They don't need him. They've got Watkins. They don't. No, Tony. If Tony does, he won't go to Villa. He will go to another team. I don't think he'll go to Villa.
Watch this space.
I don't think you can put Watkins and Tony on the same team. I just don't think.
I will say when I was doing my research for this, an article published a week ago by a Villa Forums fan page didn't list a single centre back. It listed a bunch of strikers they needed to bring in as backup. Origi was on the list, but so was Ivan Toney. So
yeah, I think definitely in the summer, I think they should look to it. But I think right now, they need to improve their defense. They don't actually have to sign anyone in January, but if they do sign someone, I think it should be a
lot of these teams actually don't have to. Like Villa are doing better than they thought they would. So
yeah. Again, these are just hypotheticals. These if they were to sign players, this is who I would sign if I had to sign someone. Because there were some teams where I was struggling to think about where they needed to improve. Because some teams are just the whole team is just needs improvement, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly where. But for a lot of other teams, it's more obvious. But anyway, shall we move on to Brighton?
Unless Matt's got anyone else.
No, mine was going to be Aston Villa need another centre back along with Mings. So why not go anywhere different but look in the same league with someone like Tarkowski?
Yeah,
it's just about whether they'll be able to afford him.
Quite a few teams could probably look at bringing Tarkowski in.
Oh, I'm sure he'll pop up again.
If in doubt, put him down.
Brighton, in my opinion, the main area where Brighton lack is pace. apart from Lamptey, they don't really have any really pacey players. So in my opinion, they need a winger. And one really good option could be Ismaila Sarr from Watford. I think he's more than good enough to play in the Premier League. He is too good for the Championship, no doubt.
Could they afford him though?
I think maybe a loan, because maybe Watford don't want to pay his wages in the Championship. And if they don't get promoted, they'll definitely have to offload him.
The reason I'm asking is because Liverpool were interested in Sarr, and the quoted price was around 30 million or more. Brighton are a team that I can't recall them ever really kind of spending that kind of money in January on one player. Do you see Brighton? What I'm saying is, I agree that's the kind of player they would need to bring in, but I think the big issue there would be they're going to want at least 25 million for Sarr.
I think if Watford, they're in the Championship, they can't be affording to be playing too many Premier League level wages, so they might want to maybe just offload him on loan just to relieve the wage bill a bit. But I do have another option, and that is Milo Rashica from Werder Bremen. I think he's actually linked with some other Premier League clubs too. I think he's a really underrated player playing in a struggling team. I think he wants to leave. I think he was supposed to leave in the summer, but they blocked the transfer last minute. So I think he'll leave, and I think Brighton could sign him. So that's my other option. Milo Rashica is very quick. I think he could be very good for that team, and he can play up front too if they need to. I'm
going to say I agree with you. They need pace. They probably need a goal scorer, because I'm still not 100% convinced with Morpay. But I'm going along the same lines as you, but I'm going to go for someone who would be a much cheaper, maybe a bit of a gamble, but could be a slightly good option. And I'm going to say Damari Gray from Leicester, because he's looking for a way out at Leicester at the moment. There was a couple of teams interested in him, apparently. I think he'd probably do okay at Brighton. I've always thought he looked all right when he played for Leicester. I'm surprised he was.
His problem was his final product, wasn't it? That was the issue. He couldn't finish. He could do everything else, but he couldn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, he's still fairly young. I'd take a.
I'm saying that he's not, and also he will be cheaper than Sarr.
Well,
I think Leicester want to get rid of him, so they'll be able to get him.
They're willing to even probably take less than asking.
I think there's a contract that expire in the summer.
Yeah, he's on his last 6 months.
So I think they'll probably want to offload him.
Do Brighton need him now, or do they wait? That's the big question.
I think they do. If they want to stay up, they need someone with pace.
Yeah, no, you're right. Who's
they can't pin all their hopes on Lamptey, as they're already a pacey player. So, next is Burnley.
They also Brighton need a left back as well, don't they? Right now as well, they're playing a right back at left back, aren't they?
Bernardo can play both right back and left back.
Yeah, but he's predominantly a right back, isn't he? He's like a right-footed.
I think
right
he's
back
been.
Who
I
can
think he's more
play
like
left back.
Inverted wing back. I think he's been playing mostly left back since he joined Brighton. Maybe that's just because they haven't had a left back. And if they wanted to sign left back, Rico Henry, there we go. A little bonus one for you.
You play too much Football Manager, Stephen.
Well, no, because he's good enough to play in the Premier League. Obviously, he's a Brentford player, so
I'm just meaning the amount of I don't know. Maybe it's you know far more about ideal players for some of the other teams in the Premier League than I would. So
right, who's next?
So Burnley next. I also think they need a pacey winger, funnily enough. With Burnley, they tend to only sign either domestic players or an English player that's playing abroad. So in that case, I think one decent option would be Bright Asayu Samuel from QPR. I think he's a very good winger. I think he's QPR's only really good player. Maybe Share as well is pretty decent. He is very quick, very strong. I think he'll be perfect for Burnley style of play. And I don't think he'll cost that much. So I think he will be a very good option. Another bit more, maybe not as realistic, maybe Marcus Edwards for Vitória in Portugal. He's been doing bits in Portugal. He might want to return to the Premier League. So I said maybe a backup option. If they can't get Asai Samuel, Marcus Edwards is another good shout.
Yeah. I will take another punt. I'll stick along the same lines as you. They need a winger. They need something for that Brexit team. And keep it in that terms. Damari Gray could be an option again. But I am going to go for a bit of a weird one. Ryan Kent from Rangers.
Yeah. That's a worthy shout. My only thing, once again, it's possible. I think Ryan Kent is looking for him back to the Premier League. The big question is, will he want to wait till the summer? Because Rangers are about to, right now, are looking to win the league to stop Celtic doing 10 in a row.
Well, if Celtic aren't going to win the league, maybe James Forrest.
Ooh.
Yeah, Forrest is a worthy shout. Ryan
Christie,
if it wasn't for the fact, yeah,
was it Ryan Christie? Yeah, I think it's Cyrus Christie's a right back.
Ryan Christie is at Celtic. I've got a few. There's a few potential Celtic players that could make the move to the Premier League. Truthfully, I've got a few.
I have some Celtic players for some other clubs on this list.
Yes, but with Ryan Kent, I do see Ryan Kent moving back to the Premier League. I just imagine it'll be in the summer, whether that's Burnley or Brighton or some of the other teams on this list. Who knows?
But I think I mainly targeted Asai Samuel just because I think he's very strong and quick, and I think that suits Burnley. Obviously, they're more defensive.
He's also cheaper as well,
and it'll be cheaper because he's playing in the Championship. But I mean, when we played QPR last season in the game, he was phenomenal. He was really good. So I think he's definitely, if not January, in the summer, he's definitely going to probably move to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up is Chelsea.
Ooh.
Again, we talked about it a bit earlier in the podcast, but I think they need another defensive-minded central midfielder because they can't pin all their hopes on Kante to do all the defending. They need someone else.
Do we all have the same player written down?
I'm going to be proper bland. Chelsea need a central defensive midfielder. They need someone to win back their midfield. It's Declan Rice, isn't it?
I've also put Declan Rice down.
It's got to be Declan Rice.
I do have a couple of alternatives.
Please do share.
Yves Bissouma from Brighton and Zambo Anguissa from Fulham.
Anguissa from Fulham? Well,
he's been linked to Real Madrid.
Is he?
Yeah.
Do you know what? As long as he ain't Bakayoko, go for it. As long as any of them aren't Bakayoko, go for it.
And maybe if they don't sign anyone in January, maybe in the summer they go for Calvin Phillips.
I'd say they go for Declan Rice over all three of them, though.
I do think so. But I'm just some alternatives.
He's a big, young English player. He's got a big kind of market about him as well. Because think that Chelsea,
his stats at Chelsea, he's older.
They're a team as well. They're
Chelsea
a team,
academy
also
player.
They're looking at individuals. Yeah, academy player. It's a good story. You know,
he's very clicky with the Chelsea.
He's good friends with Mason Mount. As anytime you watch England play,
he's on holiday with John Terry. That was all very weird.
So yeah, I think Declan Rice. It's not a question of if, but when.
Yeah, it's inevitable in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he turns up somewhere else. Maybe United now.
I think Chelsea could maybe do with a centre back or even another attacking option because I know you've brought in Werner and a few others, but like Giroud's not a long-term fix and Abraham's still not quite there, so you maybe want to bring in another. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'll admit.
Alaba, I think, would be a good one to have. The
big issue is Alaba's wages. The reason Bayern aren't offering him a contract isn't because they don't want him.
Roman, get your wage book out. Okay.
He's wanting 400k a week.
Jeez.
He's wanting like that's why Bayern aren't. It's not like Bayern like are going. No, we don't want you in the team anymore. Piss off. It's we do not value you at the wage demand you're wanting. We've got other players we think are worth like the money than compared to you.
I don't even think Lewandowski's on that much
really
money.
I think that's my point. Alaba's wage demand is the main reason. So if Chelsea are willing to pay 400k for 28-year-old centre back, is he 28, Alaba? I think he's 28, 29.
Yeah, it's in his prime, 28, 29.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
I actually have Alaba for someone else on this list.
I do as well. I have him for someone else.
Anyway, next up.
Who's up next?
Staying in London, Crystal Palace. And I think, in my opinion, they need a centre back because right now all of their centre backs are injured.
They need anyone. They need anyone.
But I mean, if we're just talking about urgency and they need it right now, they need a centre back because right now they only have.
My point. Urgency. They need everyone. They're attacking
because right now they're having to play Kiyate at centre back and he's not a centre back, and the only other centre back they have right now is Scott Dan, I think. So they really need a centre back, and in my opinion, I think a perfect fit on loan would be Tomori.
Yeah,
Tomori on loan's a good shot.
I don't get why he must have had a fallout with Lampard or something, because he's better than Christensen, he's better than Rudiger in my opinion. Yeah, weird one. I'm gonna go for a right back / left back because they need a new back four in general, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Max Aarons, Norwich.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich can get there first.
Good shout. It's a good shout. They like you say, they do need a whole new defensive line.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head. I won't lie. And I will preface this for the fact that I've been very busy this week. But
I've done
do think
legwork on
Max
this,
Aarons-
Anthony. Don't worry.
I do think Max Aarons is a good shout because
I just don't think they'll be able to afford him.
Yeah,
He's going to be at least
Lonely
30 million, I think.
Yeah, you think it'd be that much when he's playing Championship right now?
25, I'd say 25, 30. Yeah, I can see that. Who's next?
Around 20, truthfully.
Who's next? It is Everton next, and again, I think they need a centre back. Although I don't think it's urgent. I mean, they could do with another centre back. I mean, they brought in Godfrey in the summer, who's been all right, but I think they just really need that decent, really solid centre back. And I've got two options. One,
Sergio Ramos
from the Premier League, one from outside. One option I've gone for, which is a bit of a wild card, is Rudiger on a loan. He's not getting a lot of playtime at Chelsea right now. I think he could do with a loan. I think he's good enough to play for Everton. I think
that's Tomori and Rudiger both out now, according to you.
Probably.
So we need a new centre back as well.
Possibly.
Declan Rice.
Yeah,
and another maybe more niche out is Denier from Lyon. I think he's a really solid centre back.
He's had a good season.
Considering he was kind of like let go by City as a not good enough. He has had quite a come up.
I think he might want to prove himself and come back to the Premier League and prove City wrong. And I think he's a really good centre back.
Centre back, but I think that's the kind of move Everton may wait till the summer for.
I think they will probably wait till the summer. But if they had to sign someone right now, I would. I think Rudiger on the loan is probably more likely than a permanent signing.
I went for a wide player instead because I think James Rodriguez sometimes is looking a bit lost out in the wide as opposed to playing his usual position. And I think that has been a few instances where if they'd had a player that's more out and out a winger or a wide player, things might be a bit different. I think because he started playing on the right and they were doing well, so they kept him there. But clearly that's not his natural position. So I have went for Saint-Maximin from Newcastle. Bring James.
Am I the only one who doesn't rate Saint-Maximin? Am I like the only one?
But
I think he looks good in spells.
I'm not needing him to finish. That's the problem with him. Is his finish? He's just a weaker Adama Traore in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
He's fast, but not got the final product. All he needs to do for here is run with the ball and head it into Calvert-Lewin, who'll tap it in. I'm not needing him to finish or do excessive skill. I need him to run with the ball.
I said for both, but maybe for Everton is Myla Sarr.
Yeah, Sarr's another one. That'd be a.
He's Everton. I think he's Everton quality.
Yeah,
he's another one once again who's inconsistent. Sometimes Sarr looks excellent, and sometimes he looks shocking.
In that case, I'll chuck in another name into the hat: Buendia.
Possibly, but I think he's more. I think maybe they need someone a bit quicker. Because who have they got on the left?
Richarlison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then obviously they've
and Bernardo or Bernard, whatever he's called.
Bernard, yeah.
Awobi. So,
but that's what I mean. I think Saint-Maximin, considering how quick he is, like you get the ball to him on a counter attack, and Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison aren't exactly slow either. You've got a dangerous front three there, albeit maybe slightly inconsistent on the right.
Yeah,
and and then it allows James to kind of play a bit more in the centre, where he's used to.
Fair. Who's next?
Next
Fulham,
up, it probably is. Yeah, it is Fulham. And again, I've said centre back. I just think their defense isn't good enough. They got that guy in from Lyon, haven't they? And then they've got Adara Bio, who's not going to keep you in the Premier League, I'm afraid. So again, I've gone for a loan here. And for me, it's between two Man United centre backs, and that is Axel Tuanzebe and Timothy Fosu-Mensah. I think either of those on a loan would do them a world of good.
Yeah.
And gets them game time as well, which both of them probably do need as well. So
completely agreed. They obviously can't get a Chelsea one because they've got Loftus-Cheek already.
And obviously the two Chelsea players have already went out on loan to two different teams.
That's also true. So yeah, no, I agree. Maybe they should have gone for like who's the one who's just left Arsenal on loan? Saliba.
That could have been
Yeah.
a good or maybe
That would have been a
is Callum
brilliant
Chambers
shot.
injured?
Callum Chambers. I do not have a clue.
Genuinely forgot you still play football.
Yeah. Or because I mean Arsenal got a load of centre backs, so just all crap, basically.
So yeah, I'll leave that at Fulham. Yeah, go and get a nice.
Yeah, there's not much to
Man
say
United.
about Fulham. I think they need improvements across the park, but if they had to improve one area, I think their defence is the most pressing. The next one, this is an interesting one, Leeds. I think the obvious answer would be centre back, but I've decided to go a bit different and say I think they need a central midfielder. As we saw against Tottenham, they had to play Rodrigo as a centre midfielder because they just didn't have anyone to play in that position.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, a perfect player that suits Leeds' style of play perfectly is Josh Da Silva from Brentford. I think he would be a perfect fit for Leeds. And I think
Don't let him leave.
No, I don't. I wouldn't want him to leave. But if I was Leeds, I'll be looking at him to make the step up.
If he's Højbjerg run too.
I think he didn't. His performance against Tottenham, I think he let himself down with that performance. He's much better than that, in my opinion. As we saw against the Newcastle game in the Carabao Cup, he more than was capable of playing against Newcastle and got the goal. I think he's Premier League quality, and I think he would be really good for Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds do need a central midfielder, truthfully. Like I say, the defense record isn't great, but there's been injuries throughout the season for them once again. I'm trying to think if there's any that come off the top of my head immediately.
I'm gonna go straight in as centre back because I think Leeds' defence is just too leaky. They've got 30 goals this season, but they've conceded 33. So I'd say again they just need to get
also a tactical genius.
They need to get someone in on loan, maybe a centre back. And yeah, for me, Tomori fits it.
He's definitely quick enough to play in their system. He's a good enough passer of the ball to play in their system. I think with Leeds, they need someone who can run. Because they had Pablo Hernandez on the bench, but they didn't decide to play him against Tottenham. They preferred Rodrigo to be in central midfield rather than Pablo Hernandez. That kind of says a lot. So I think they just need someone who can run either in central midfield or central defence. I think the centre of the park is a bit weak in general.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone?
No, I can't think of anyone else to add, truthfully. So it's Leicester next.
Leicester's a tough one.
Yeah, this is a bit tricky, but in my opinion, I think they need a striker. Obviously they got if Vardy gets injured, they're screwed.
Like a backup striker.
They need a backup striker, a deputy.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Yeah.
And I have two names. One of them is Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. I think he's proven himself at Celtic.
Yeah,
I think he could be a good option. And another young hot prospect in the Netherlands is Myron Boadu at AZ. Yeah. I think he could be a great understudy. He's like Vardy, he's very quick. He can run. So I think he could be a great sort of long-term replacement for Vardy. And I think he wouldn't mind being an understudy. So those are my two picks.
Yeah, I have. I put Edouard down for two teams. One of them was Leicester. I also think Leicester could maybe do with another centre back as well. Truthfully, obviously they did lose Ben Chilwell, but then they replaced him.
I don't think so at all. I think that's
probably
one of their strongest areas.
Youngko, Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans has been fantastic. They've got Fofana as well.
Evans, Fofana, Justin, they've been class.
I think their defense is solid at the moment. If anything, I think the other area they need to improve is right wing. Under's not been that great.
I have
Jose Perez is average.
And if they couldn't get Celtic's leading man, they could always try and get Rangers. Alfredo Morales, very good player, very good player. In my opinion,
he's physical enough, that's for sure.
If I say that too loudly in this house, I'll get in trouble. Good player, but the thing is, people seem to think he's like got a bad attitude, like almost like an El Hadjouf, but he hasn't. He works hard.
He's a shithouser. That's what he's a shithouser.
More of a
but if you hear any reports from him, he works hard. He's good. He's a lot like Vardy in a lot of ways. Like he's competitive. He's hungry. He's aggressive. Yeah, okay, he's getting red cards, but he's also still a bit younger. that can be taken out of this game without losing their aggression.
I think Brendan
He's just a
Rodgers
bit
could get the
silly.
best out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Edard would also be a good one as well because actually Rodgers has already got the rapport there. Because he brought Edard into the Celtic team. Moussa Dembele might be a bit expensive, but that's also once again another potential striking option with Rodgers' connections.
I did think about Moussa Dembele, but I just think it'll be too expensive, and I think he'll want to be the main starting striker. I don't think he'll want to be the backup.
Yeah, I think it's Cool.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
I don't think there's much debate here. They need a centre back.
The question is which one though, because I don't think I don't think Liverpool need a centre back that is going to like a number one. They don't need to drop a lot of money on like a.
And that's why
centre back.
I've gone for two options, both from the Bundesliga.
Right.
One of them is Ozan Kabak from Schalke.
I have down as well.
Even though Schalke have been crap, he has been their one shining light, and I think he can do bits for Liverpool.
He was linked with a move to us in the summer, so I think that's one that Klopp and Liverpool are interested in. So yeah.
And I've also gone for a Leipzig player, not the one you're thinking of. I've gone for Konate.
Good player as well, yeah.
He's been overshadowed a bit by Upamecano, but I think he's also a very solid centre back. And I don't think he will expect to play every week for Liverpool. I think he'll be okay being a backup. So I think those are two very decent options, which probably won't be too expensive. I think Kabak will be cheaper because of Schalke's situation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Liverpool have been linked with a move for Alaba in the last couple of days. Apparently they've approached him, but so have Real Madrid, and Alaba's obviously
doesn't strike me as a Liverpool signing though. That's not.
It's the wages.
So he says, yeah. Oh right, okay. I
think
you're going to
Kabak
say
strikes
Chelsea
me
are going to
as
sign because of wages. Oh, but
Kabak strikes me as the
that's what I
archetypical
said.
Liverpool type of signing.
Liverpool have been linked with a move for Alaba, but I doubt they'll sign him unless Alaba is down to take a large pay cut. He's not going to Liverpool.
Maybe his best mates with Thiago wants to link back up. You never know.
I mean, to be honest, Thiago could be involved in that and like trying to encourage him to sign. But once again, if Alaba's wanting a certain amount of money, as what is reported, it could be that
Liverpool aren't a club to offer silly money.
Yeah, they'll. However, I will say because obviously, because the transfer window, I'm a Liverpool fan, I have been keeping up to date. Liverpool, the reports are that it is unlikely Liverpool will be bringing anyone in. If they do, it's not big money. However, reports are that Liverpool are planning something big for the summer. They're planning a big move for the summer. No one knows who. No, this is some pretty respectable sources, by the way. This isn't me going on. Oh, look at this username such and such on Reddit. This is people that are genuinely trusted to break the news out besides Sky Sports for Liverpool stuff, such as.
I'm going to piss myself if they don't sign anyone.
I'm not. No. In the summer, I'm not saying they well guaranteed. But the rumours are there's speculation around the club that they're going.
So the thing is with Kabak is if Schalke lose Kabak in January, they're guaranteed to go down. So I think they might be a bit reluctant to sign him in January.
Apparently there has been some form of contact between his agent and Liverpool, but whether that was them going, look, are we able to get him now or we got to wait?
Maybe a loan to buy in the summer. Loan him now, buy him in the summer. Possibly.
Yeah, like I say, I think Liverpool do need a centre back, but Liverpool's style has never been to panic buy or buy a player and pay. Because right now, any player you're going for, teams are going to slap 5-10 million on. So I think Klopp would rather try and get by with Fabinho and Matip / Williams / Phillips until Gomez is back. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's what I do, but Klopp is stubborn. That's the one. Whether you agree, it's going to be a good manager or bad. Klopp is stubborn. So I think I'd have them go after Kabak. I think he's going to be relatively cheaper than a lot of other options right now. And I think he is a good young player. He's 20. So, yeah.
Cool. Who's next?
Manchester City. Let's just get this out of the way. They need a left back. And I said David Alaba. There we go.
I didn't have Alaba down for Man City because I do not consider David Alaba a left back anymore. He's played centre back for the last season and a half, 2 seasons. So I have known
maybe he'll want because I think he's more comfortable. Maybe he'll want to go back to playing left back.
Maybe I have had Man City. I have Man City down for Digna. Look at Digna from Everton.
That's a good shout.
3rd best left back in the Premier League right now, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to say holding midfielder because there's a getting on. I'm going to say Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester.
Once again,
I think they'll probably go for that in the summer.
I think that's I think left back is. I mean. Let's be real.
Zinchenko could be leaving to West Ham, so
there's a lot of talk about Messi still, which we may see, we may not see. Because now I think PSG are favourites to get him. But there is still that possibility that Man City will go, we need a left back, or we can go, fuck it, and get Messi because he's Messi. You know what I mean? Like, you know my point.
I think Man City will be willing to buy him outright in January, instead of waiting till the summer. I think they might be more willing to just buy him permanently in January, just on a cut price deal. And I think they'll be willing to offer the wages he wants to. So I think it would make sense, in my opinion.
Right. Man United.
Again, obvious they need a centre back. And
yeah, I think without centre back signing this window, United are not a title contender.
And it's going to be the big one, the obvious one, Dayot Upamecano.
I've not put Upamecano down because I do not think they are going to be spending 60+ million right now.
And that's why I've also put a little bit more niche one, Pau Torres from Villarreal, sorry.
So I've gone for the player you thought would be going at the blue side of Manchester. I put David Alaba. I think Man United are one of the fair few teams in England that be willing to pay his wage demands.
Sure.
They've done it for plenty of players already. Alaba has got good experience at centre back for a top team. He's got European experience, and they'd be willing. Bear in mind, Bayern right now at this point, if Man United went, look, you're not getting any money for him if he goes in the summer, we'll give you 15 million, and that way you get money for him. Bayern probably go, yeah. So I could see United getting a really cut deal for Alaba. They'll pay the wages he wants if he wants to go there, and to me, that's not an outrageous idea.
I see that happening. I think that's plausible. Yeah,
I'm going to write there wrong when they should have sold Phil Jones this morning and say they need to re-sign Johnny Evans.
That's actually, that'd be a mad, imagine that happening. I'm not saying it's not a good shout. I'm saying imagine that happening. Upamecano, David Alaba, Johnny Evans.
I think Johnny Evans might actually be one of the most underrated centre backs in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
He's a nasty git, isn't he?
But when you're hearing all these big names, then Johnny Evans.
I mean, in terms of on the ball ability, I think he might be the best in the Premier League.
He's a nasty git as well. Right, who's
Newcastle? And I was struggling.
Man. Newcastle.
They need a whole new team.
I have one for Newcastle. Woo.
Go on.
I put right back because
that's what I also said.
Yeah, I put Frimpong from Celtic right back.
I've gone for Yusuf Attal from Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, once again.
As more of a because they mainly play with wing backs, don't they? And I think Attal is more of a wing back.
Yeah, I think though.
And he can play anywhere on FIFA.
Recently as well. Yeah,
he can play a right wing as well. So he can play anywhere on the right hand side. So I think he'll be a good signing.
They're playing Ayala, are they not? Yedley, sorry.
Yedlin's not good enough. Mankio's not good enough.
Yeah, so I think they need to bring in a right back. Because like I said, they've got Jamal Lewis, who's good, but he play both, but he's predominantly left back. So
he's a left back, definitely.
And but I think he can play right back, but he's not great there. So I say bring in Frimpong. He's Celtic. His wages won't be that high because he plays in Scotland. And Celtic there's a good track record of players that go from Celtic to the Premier League being good. So, we saw Fraser Foster.
That's it. Don't say it.
We saw Victor Wanyama.
Don't say it.
So I think Frimpong will be a similar ilk.
Okay. No other names. Okay, yeah, fair.
Hang on. Sorry. Just give me a second.
He's putting on a Van Dijk shirt, isn't he?
Celtic.
Brilliant. So good. Right, who's next, Stephen? Jesus Christ.
Next up is Sheffield United, and honestly, you could say again they need a whole new team.
I have a really outlandish theory for this one. I think Sheffield. Sorry to cut you off, but I think Sheffield needs width. I think their big issue is
who the hell is going to want to join Sheffield at the moment?
The team just doesn't have a lot.
I think they can only sign loans or
someone.
I had one that this benefits the player, the team that be loaning him out, and the team that is Sheffield. I think be interesting to see. So Harvey Elliott's been tearing it up at Blackburn in the Championship. Obviously, usually you see players do well in the Championship, then they come back to the Premier League team and try and get some tennis. No, I was going to say Liverpool cancel Elliott's loan and loan him to Sheffield.
Premier League.
So he goes from playing Championship, where clearly he's very good at that level right now.
What about Harry Wilson?
Wilson is another shout as well for similar reason.
Where is Harry Wilson at the moment? Is he doing well?
Yeah,
That's definitely below his level. I've always rated Harry
He's
Wilson.
good enough to play in the Premier League.
He was at Bournemouth and they got relegated. So,
but he was one of their best players at Bournemouth.
Recall Harry Wilson.
But I would rather see Harvey Elliott be recording.
I've got another kind of crazy shout too. Chris Wilder seems to love signing flops and trying to revigorate their careers. So I'm going to say Jesse Lingard on a loan.
I thought you were going to say Charlie Ings. No, not Ings. Charlie.
I think they've actually been linked with Jesse Lingard. So I just said, get him in on a loan, see what he can do.
Yeah.
Because Chris Wilder, he just seems to sign players who have flopped recently and tries to reinvigorate them.
My problem with Harvey Elliott,
he's also still young as well. Lingard's another young player.
Yeah.
My problem with Harvey Elliott is that Sheffield need to stay up, and I don't
need proven players.
I don't think a 17-year-old is going to be the man to keep him.
To be honest, at this point, if it's between him and nothing, I'd take a gamble.
I think Sheffield would take anyone they can get at the moment. To be honest,
that's what I mean. If it's Harvey Elliott or no one, to see if they can help stay up, I take a gamble because, like I say, he's just saying he's 17. He's doing well in the Championship. Sheffield are going to be there next season. How much better is the caliber of their team right now? You know, like Sheffield's.
Like I originally thought striker, but I've already seen they've already got about 10 million strikers in their team, and all of them are pretty shit. To be fair,
to be honest, Brewster hasn't been given much of a chance yet, and he's not Premier League proven. Like you're asking a lot from him. I still think
honestly, they could get rid of half of their strike force. And one name I actually thought was Adam Armstrong from Blackburn, if they wanted to try and bring him in, possibly.
Yeah, isn't Armstrong got like the most attempts on goal in the Championship right now or something?
I think he's second top scorer behind Tony.
No, not top goal scorer, like most attempts. So he's not as efficient. Possibly. But clearly he's getting more shots away than Sheffield are. So
yeah,
Southampton.
In my opinion, I think just in general, Southampton lack depth. Their starting 11's pretty solid and balanced. They just don't really have a lot of depth. In my opinion, the area lacking the most depth is central midfield. If Ward-Prowse gets injured, they're screwed, basically. They've only really got that French guy on the bench, Diallo, and apart from that, they haven't got anyone else. So, in my opinion, I've gone for a bit of a crazy one here. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on a loan. And hear me out. Euros are coming up. He'll want to get back into the England team. Loan him out to Southampton. Get him some regular football.
He could be second to
you and I have the exact same argument about two different players.
Oh, okay. Who you going to say?
So I see your point, but I think Oxlade's willing to fight for his place at Liverpool right now. The reason he wasn't in was injuries.
That's why it's a bit of a wild shout. But
again, it's
injuries. No, I was going to say Dele Alli. Because, there's talks of him going to PSG, but will he play? If he's wanting to get in the Euros and back at England.
Moise Kean's managed to sneak in somehow, so I lost his chances.
So I wouldn't be... I mean... I could see it happening if Dele Alli. It'd be more his decision as opposed to Tottenham's, if you know what I mean. Like
I've also got another much wilder shout, probably a player both of you haven't heard of. I've gone for Teji Savanier from Montpellier. He has been outstanding for them right now. I think Montpellier are doing quite well, and I think he screams over Southampton sort of signing a player who's doing better than expected.
Cheaper as well.
And it could be cheap. He's 28, so he's not exactly a young player. I think they could get him in. I think he's been doing really well for Montpellier. So
I could see him going for Oxlade though, considering how well the last player they took from Liverpool.
And I think for sentimental reasons, obviously he started his career at Southampton, so they might want to do the old Walcott thing again with Oxlade-Chamberlain and bring the old boys back.
Tottenham Hotspur.
I think out of every team in the Premier League, Tottenham are the team that need to do business the least in January.
I think they need a centre back because I do not think
not right now. In the summer, maybe, but I don't think they need to move for anyone in January.
When you look at the centre back starting pair, Toby Alderweireld is 31.
Yeah, definitely in the summer they need to move for someone. But in January,
but we're discussing January. So if they have to, I'm saying centre back, and I'm saying
I'll say that too.
White.
Yeah,
I'm saying Tarkowski or Ben White.
I've gone for a bit of a niche shout. I've gone for Edmund Tapsoba from Leverkusen.
Well, they just signed the centre back from someone in the Championship, didn't they?
Joe Rodon, yeah, but he's not the star player. I think he's more of a squad player, backup player.
The question is, would Tapsoba be able to do kind of? I know he's young, but Premier League like Tarkowski to me screams of a kind of like Mourinho centre back. You know, he's also Premier League proven. And he's cheap. You know, Højbjerg was 14 million and he's worked out a treat.
Yeah. I think Tarkowski, you know what you're going to get.
So I said Tapsoba because the last time Tottenham signed someone from Bayer Leverkusen, he's done pretty well.
It's true.
Same.
Yeah, not much to say about Spurs.
No,
Heung-min
Son. wasn't it?
Son.
Yeah,
the last
so
player they
why did
signed
I
from
think
the
Bloody
Son
hell,
was
keep up.
Hoffenheim? Why did I think Son was Hoffenheim?
West Brom, I believe, are next, didn't they?
Again, I
start?
think they need improvement across the park. But if I had to pick one area, I'd say central midfield. I just Romain Sawyers and Conor Gallagher aren't going to keep you in the Premier League, I'm afraid. So I've gone for a player playing in the Championship right now who's definitely good enough for the Premier League. I said Philip Billing from Bournemouth. I think when I watched the game against Brentford, he looked very good. He's very physical. He's 6'5" or something, and he's very good with his feet. I think if West Brom go down, he'll be a great player to help them get back up from the Championship. So I've said Philip Billing.
Yeah, take your pick from proven Championship players. You've got Dwight Gale. I know he's at Blackburn, but I mean not Blackburn. He's at Newcastle. But maybe Bradley Dack from Blackburn. That's who the other one I was thinking of. Screw it. Why not?
I was actually thinking striker, but I'm part of the Carlin Grant fan club. Maybe he hasn't hit the ground running yet, but I do think he's a quality player. I think we were actually trying to sign him before we signed Tony. Yeah, so I think he's a great player. He's still got time to prove himself.
Yeah. West Brom are screwed. They
if West Brom get relegated, they'll be like Carlin Grant would be great for them. So
yeah.
I think West Brom should be signing with the view of players who will get them back up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think Billing would be a great player to sign for them because obviously Gallagher's only a loan, so he's not going to be there next season. So if they're planning long term, I think Billing would be a good shout.
Fair play. West Ham.
Again, I think the obvious choice would be centre back maybe, but I've gone for a striker because it looks like Haller's going to Ajax.
Yeah, it's pretty much done deal.
Don't want to pin all the hopes on Antonio.
Move though, because Haller hasn't quite delivered. You can still get maybe 15. I can't actually remember how much.
Ajax a bit 25 million for him.
Yeah,
25 million for him. If they'd waited another year or two, you're probably looking at 15 or 10. So they've done well there. They've cashed on that.
It hasn't worked out. Yeah.
They've cashed on that where he still has that reputation he has from Bundesliga.
He's got a bicycle kick, so yeah.
I've gone for another classic Football Manager pick here. They seem to have loved signing Czech players recently, so I'm going to go for Adam Hložek from Sparta Prague. I had him on Football Manager. He was young, though, ridiculously good. He's 18.
Yeah.
I think he's been officially linked. I think he'll be a great backup option behind Antonio.
The question is, how much would they want for an 18-year-old with apparently lots of potential?
He's probably got a release clause. He's probably got a release clause.
I know he's at a smaller team, but what I'm saying is like he's a good shout if West Ham are willing to pay.
I don't think any more than 10 million. Okay. I don't think any more than £10 million, and I think, it might as well take the punt. The two other Czech players they've signed have been fantastic, so why not go for another one? Adam Hložek. I think he's good enough to be a backup at a Premier League club, maybe even Leicester. But I think with West Ham, they've seemed to love Czech players recently. So yeah. I think I saw an article which said they're interested. So I think he'll be a great shout and a cheap option. I think they'll be able to afford him.
And then it's Wolves. That's last.
Wolves are last.
Yeah.
And again, I think they need a striker.
And it has to be Portuguese. So what's the options?
Does it have to be? Yeah.
I've gone for two. One Portuguese, one non-Portuguese.
Well, just say the Portuguese then.
For Portuguese, I've gone for Gonçalo Guedes from Valencia.
Oh, that would be an expensive one. I want to be.
It might be, but Valencia, their owner has been sale happy.
Yeah,
I think he just wants to.
He can also play on the wings as well, can't he? So he can still fit into the team even when this is back.
He can play on the wing or up front.
Well, there you go. So no-brainer. No-brainer, and he's Portuguese. He might as well sign him up now.
He's the perfect signing for them right now. And another, maybe not as realistic shout, but a player I think wants to leave his current club is Arkadiusz Milik from Napoli.
Yeah, that could be a good shout.
His contract's up in the summer. I think
a
lot of clubs want him. Huh?
Yeah. Is he the Polish one?
He's Polish, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good sign.
Yeah, I've also put strikers, but I once again used the Celtic Rangers too. The duo. I know neither are Portuguese.
That's not. Yeah, I was going to say that's not very spicy.
I think they work well. They're like I say, they're strong, they're quick, and they can finish. They're not. Yeah. But yeah, they need strikers. Even though when Jimenez is back, they need someone else because clearly they've been exposed now that
Fabio Silva was never supposed to play regular football this season.
No, of course he wasn't.
Supposed to link up with their under 23s.
Hasn't quite shown up yet. I don't even know if he's still there anymore. Actually,
Catroni's gone to Fiorentina, I think.
Yeah, apparently they're recalling him.
Yeah,
No, I think they got a thing in his contract where he's a mandatory buy at the end of his loan. So,
I think one thing that is interesting as well is Wolves. Obviously, he won't be going in January, but we have to be looking at the fact that Wolves will have to bring some more into midfield soon as well, because Neves will be going soon.
and I think they generally lack depth in midfield.
Yeah, but let's be real, guys. It's not an if but when that someone comes calling for Neves. He's 23 and he's one of the best central midfielders in the league.
Yeah.
I see him going to someone like Bayern.
Yeah, I see him going to one of the top teams in England, Bayern, PSG, top 2 in Spain, maybe
Juventus.
If he's going to any team, it's either the top in England, the top in Germany, top in Italy, top in Spain.
Wait, Ruben Neves is only 23.
He might be older now, maybe.
I thought he is 23. I thought he was like 30. Mad.
No,
Yeah, Wolves signed him when he was like 19.
Very young.
Mental.
That's the point. At 23, he's one of the best central midfielders in the league.
Yeah, you learn something new.
Yeah, they signed him for 15 million pounds whilst they were still in the championship.
Henderson's hitting 30. Thiago's hitting 30 this year.
That's
and
mental.
Fabinho's only a couple years younger. I'd take him at Liverpool right now.
I think any team in the world would take him.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Him or Telemans. I'd probably have Telemans. But yeah. Anyway, that's Wolves.
Actually.
That's Wolves. And that's the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Good, because I'm hungry. So thank you for listening. Thank you. Very interesting talk. Well done, Stephen.
By the way, we're not saying these are definitely going to happen or they've been officially linked. It's just we're just speculating, chatting the shit. You know,
we're saying ideally who the kind of players they should be going for.
Yeah, if we were the director of football, who would we be looking to sign?
Lovely.
I could still defer to Michael Edwards.
And on that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Goodbye.